Hello everyone. As you may know from my title, that I will be speculating the ecology of the elder dragon Dalamadur from Monster Hunter. I absolutely love ecology as a subject, and as a fan of Monster Hunter, I wanted to bring the two together. For context, I used to watch videos of people playing Monster Hunter Tri when it released in the US, as I never got the chance to play myself. But I did later pick up Freedom Unite and got stuck on Yankaku until I moved on to Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, which was the game that truly got me to love the series. Since 4 Ultimate was the game that set the series as my all-time favorite, I chose to start this channel with my favorite monster for my favorite Monster Hunter game. Now, let's start speculating. Dalamadur is an elder dragon that most people who play Monster Hunter likely know about, be it through watching videos of others fighting it or through hunting it themselves. However, it seems to share an aspect that a lot of endgame elder dragons face, in that it lacks a lot of focus on its ecology. So today, I will be speculating on the impacts that Dalamadur has on the environment. First things first, I will start on going over the evolutionary pressures that shape the features that Dalamadur has. Then, I will move on from there. The first thing to acknowledge when talking about Dalamadur is its size. To explain this, we may need to tap into a theory that has been circulating throughout the fandom, which is that the world of Monster Hunter is currently coming out of an ice age. Colder environments tend to support creatures that are larger in size due to their additional body heat. Due to this, prolonged periods of colder temperatures, like an ice age, promote larger creatures that can store more body heat. This knowledge, along with the fact that a lot of fossilized bones that dwarf most of the creatures in the series, can be found scattered throughout the maps, hints that the world of Monster Hunter used to harbor more species of monsters that reached these monsters' sizes, and that over time, as the planet got warmer, a mass extinction in creatures of this size recently took place. Dalamadur is one of the survivors of this event, likely due to its generous nature when it comes to food. Next, let's look at its two other main features in the form of the blue plasma that it shoots out of its mouth, as well as its spikes. Due to Dalamadur being the only predator in the main series that reaches that size, these features likely weren't focused on to prevent interspecies predation, but likely intraspecies predation instead. The blue plasma was likely used to shoot in the face of cannibalistic individuals in the act. Alongside this, the spikes would further deter the attacker. These spikes made younger individuals harder and sometimes even deadly to swallow, so it is likely that younger Dalamadur have even more pronounced spikes than the older individuals that we see in-game. In order to find out if Dalamadur truly was a cannibal, we may be able to look elsewhere for evidence, with the Rotten Veil being a prime source. The Rotten Veil seems to comprise of a large Dalamadur with two smaller Dalamadurs underneath it. This may imply that the larger Dalamadur attempted to eat the two smaller individuals in a time of desperation, and quite possibly died due to the internal damage caused by the spikes. While these spikes were likely initially a way to prevent predation from older individuals, somewhere down the evolutionary line they evolved a more curved form. This gave it another advantage in the form of being able to carve through the terrain, which allowed for better digging and climbing, with young Dalamadur individuals probably being expert climbers. Eventually, a unique behavior would form, where Dalamadur would carve through mountainous terrain repeatedly to form a shredded and spiked landscape, with Heaven's Mount and the Spear-Tipped Crag being prime examples of such places. This may actually be a hunting strategy in itself, where the Dalamadur forms spikes in the landscape, ranging from smaller spikes to large spires, before laying in the middle of them as a sort of trap, where it will lie in wait for flying wyverns and elder dragons to pass by overhead, before snatching them out of the air. Dalamadur may spend most of their lives lying dormant within these traps, with occasional periods of time being spent awake in order to catch more prey. Dalamadur don't spend their entire lives dormant though, with 4 Ultimate's story having multiple individuals wake up and become active. So Dalamadur may have periods of time where they will actively seek out more food and will travel to new areas to feed on larger prey before making a new trap to lay in. Dalamadurs that are on the move, that live near coastal areas, may use the endless bounties that oceans provide to their advantage. If Dalamadurs are able to hold their breaths for prolonged periods of time, then some individuals may possibly spend days to even months crawling along the ocean floor, where they will scavenge on the plethora of dead bodies that sank from above, with Cetus and Lagiacrus both being prime creatures that provide a lot of nutrients. Creatures that likely live at the seafloor like Diamoralis may have been targets for occasional predation as well, with Diamoralis evolving to produce their famous internal heated liquid in order to act as a more volatile version of hagfish slime. Active Dalamadurs that are further inland may be more predatory when searching for food, with other mountain-sized monsters being potential prey items. Shen-Garen is likely a potential food source for wandering Dalamadur, with its habit of using monster skulls as shells being purposed to scare off younger Dalamadur. Laotian Lung's brownish-red coloration may be used to allow it to camouflage with the earthy terrain, with its ashen subspecies blending into the volcanic mountainside respectively, in an attempt to hide, as they are a viable prey option, with constriction being a likely hunting strategy for subadults, with mature adults potentially even attempting to swallow them whole. Young Zoramagdaros that haven't built up their shells are also prime targets of predation, although individuals that do have their shells may still be somewhat at risk from mature adults. Dalamadur may be a very influential monster when it comes to shading ecosystems, as they may serve as cleanup crew for large carcasses that litter both the ocean floor and the surface due to their role as scavengers, as well as the fact that they carve through regions and shift the landscape, causing major changes within the geography. Their unique lifestyle, which allows for scavenging and the hunting of both large and small prey, is what likely kept them alive when the planet began to warm up and larger monsters became less frequent. Personally, Dalamadur is one of my favorite monsters in the series, and I would love to see him again, with a more thought out ecology. Now, most of what has been said in this video is highly speculative and should not be treated as fact unless the lead devs say otherwise. This is mostly just a thoughtful guess from me that I wanted to share with others. And now, to those who made it to the end of this video, thanks for watching. See ya.